Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. So
this is Lila Santanello. She has been missing since June 27th, 2023, and she disappeared from Kingsport, Tennessee. Chronicles of Olivia and I went out to Kingsport, Tennessee on several different trips, searching for Lila Santanello or any information leading to her whereabouts. These are my thoughts on this case.
well, I have to be honest with you. I was hoping by now we would have found Layla. So this has been very hard. You know, we want to bring her home. We want to make sure that her family knows what happened to her, I think is really the most important. Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. Just like to speak to them just for a moment and just say, if you know something, say something, because her life does matter. For the family members of these people that know what happened to her, it could have been your daughter. It could have been your granddaughter. You need to ask them to stand up and speak up.
Guys, we have breaking news in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case related to an unscrupulous PI working for the mom and stepfather withholding information critical in the Sebastian Rogers case. What am I referring to? Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from inside his locked home where he was allegedly staying with only his mother. Somewhere in the middle of the night, around 3 a.m., a lights video was seen on the outside of their home. What is that? It appears to be two people with a flashlight heading to an unknown vehicle on Stafford near the intersection of Kellen. We learned of this information when Nick Barrist dropped this video for the world to see. At this moment, we're hearing that this unscrupulous PI that works for the mother and the stepfather of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers knows the identity of those inside that very vehicle. I ran the story yesterday on my YouTube channel, and what I found out was that he had not turned that information over to law enforcement. So I brought that up on my live, and then he acknowledged my findings. We are now demanding that this unscrupulous PI, SF Investigates, turn all information over to law enforcement so it can properly be investigated. Please join our fight as we demand justice for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Don't forget.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
Well, good morning. We're going to be a little sketchy right now because my lips aren't going to be matching up all that well because we're going to be covering other cases before we dive in to the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Good afternoon, good Sunday afternoon, all of my beautiful coffee beans out there. Those people that are just joining me for the first time, I'm Bullhorn Betty, and we cover true crime here on a multitude of platforms: Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, X, Instagram, and more. So if you don't have enough of Bullhorn Betty in your life, please hit me up on other platforms as well. Don't forget, as you guys are coming in, hit that thumbs up button. We're going to be going back just a little bit. I know you guys are here for the information related to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, but there's other things you guys need to be aware of that's going on out there in the big bad world of society. One of the first things we're going to start off with, however, is something a little sweet. We always get gunky and funky with all the cases we cover because it kind of sucks a little bit. We cover usually missing and or deceased people. So I think a little bit of good news this beautiful Sunday is kind of what we need in our life, a little spice in our life. So I thought I'd bring you this endearing story of a missing dog returns home on Christmas Eve and rings doorbell in Florida. I thought this was precious. I thought you should learn about this smart, beautiful dog. Athena, a 4-year-old German Shepherd and Husky mix, returned home to her family in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve 2024 by ringing the doorbell, ending more than a week's-long search. This was in West Palm Beach. And their fur baby was gone. They thought they were never going to see their dog again. And then lo and behold, he rings the doorbell. So again, just a little bit of holiday spirit still coming in and infiltrating us this holiday season. I just wanted something sweet and endearing for all of you guys to hear about. And then, of course, I just hit my do not share button. So let me get my share back up. The next case we're going to go over is very simple. It's a case we've been covering. If you've been following me for any amount of time, it is related to Alec Murdaugh, and just wanted to give you guys a quick update. They're saying that in the appeals that the cell phone evidence was flawed. If you guys remember, the cell phone evidence in the Alec Murdaugh case was very critical. Alec Murdaugh was an attorney from can't remember, not Hampton. What was it? South. I know it was. Golly, why did it just slip my tongue? Good gracious. Anyways, he's from South Carolina, Colton County. Low Country. Good gracious. Couldn't spit that out. Low Country. An attorney in Low Country, South Carolina. His family is one for the history books. The solicitors of that community for almost 100 years. They didn't just supersede South Carolina history. They are in the history books for the United States of America as the longest standing family to have that position. Again, almost 100 years before they were dethroned. That came with a lot of power. Being a solicitor, that's basically the district attorney, being the head of what goes on, who's charged, how the investigations are handled, and it provides definitely an ability for, say, somebody like Alec Murdaugh to go unnoticed for a really long time while he scanned and laundered his client's money. His son got into a boat accident that killed Mallory Beach, and he was sued by the Beach family for allowing his son to take the boat under the influence of alcohol, etc., etc. That case started heating up. They were about to start getting financial records through discovery in that boat wreck case. And that would have had the whole entire house of cards for Alec Murdaugh to fall in on him because let me get over here. There we go. Because the discovery would have shown this Forge account. Okay. So there's a company named Forge. It's Forge Financial. It's like an annuity type of company that takes people's payouts through legal claims and judgments and puts them in a safe place that can accumulate some type of interest and things like that, or give them a payout for life. And that was the house of cards falling in on him because he had been stealing his client's money for years. And then right when those discovery documents would have been ordered, his son and wife were executed on their family property. And there was really no evidence at first to us that Alec could have been responsible for this because apparently he wasn't home. Well, according to his son's phone, his deceased son's phone, they captured him minutes before his wife and son were executed, just by mistake. And this turned the whole case upside down, and he finally had to admit being out there with his son and wife before they ultimately lost their life. So that's coming up. I wanted to inform people, if you wanted to see it, there was a 132-page South Carolina Supreme Court appeal of the double murder conviction. Now, this double murder conviction, just to let you all know, has been riddled with issues for quite some time. The clerk of Colton County was basically removed from her position for a variety of reasons. But moreover, her handling of this very murder trial. Apparently, there were a couple of jurors that say that she was not playing right and was not playing by the rules when handling the Alec Murdaugh case, and that went up to the Supreme Court. We have been there for every step of the way of the Alec Murdaugh case. I even had a private tour of the property and the dog kennels while I was there. Oh, thank you guys. I see you. We'll get to the thanks in just a short moment. I wanted to get through these because I know a lot of people are here for my commentary related to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I also wanted to bring to people's attention this boy right here. This is Michael Vaughan. Many of you guys know about Summer Moon Utah Wells. We also handled that case and uncovered a lot of information in that case. However, this child right here, about 45 days after Summer Wells disappeared, he disappeared from Fruitland, Idaho. I was also out there at Fruitland, Idaho, searching for any information related to this young boy. And the one thing we could do, at least if all that we could do, was making sure that the public knew that the mom had nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with the disappearance of her child. Neither did his father. And that's what led us out to Fruitland, Idaho, was because everything started turning on the mom and father of Michael Monkey Vaughan. And I just needed to know the truth. And so we went out there. We had an opportunity to knock and talk to a lot of neighbors that saw the mom frantically searching for her son before the cavalry came in. Watched everything going on. I got to speak to one of the drone operators. His drone was actually shot out of the sky, if you guys remember that in the case. We were able to speak with the drone operator and get a lay of the land. And he told us the mom, there is no way she had anything to do with it. She was entirely too distraught. She was frantically looking. Neighbors that didn't know who she was saw her at the splash pad, frantically searching for her child. They even described it as they thought that she lost lost an animal like her dog. And the lady recalled her, man, she's really searching for her dog. And so there was just a lot of key information that led away from the mom and dad of this boy to something more nefarious, something a little worse. So I just don't want you to forget. I hear there's some things going on with Brandy and her liver. I just want to send my prayers to this family. This family has been just riddled with pain of the loss of their child missing, and then learning that their child is deceased and still not being able to bring him home has got to be just gut-wrenching. I can't imagine. Again, she's just a very strong lady. And just want to say a prayer for her and her son as well. Oh, hey, I see Smiley's World. Everybody else coming in. Thank you guys for being here. I didn't go through anything because many people were coming in. There was too many, but I do see a few. It's me, Jen. Don't forget to tell our mod squad thank you. Hey, Chaos, Michael, Oakley. It's nice to see you, Sonia. Hindsight's up in the house. It's nice to see you all. So please don't forget, Michael Monkey Vaughan is still missing. Even though there has been movement in his case, and we believe that we know who is responsible for his disappearance and untimely death, he still hasn't been found. There's always still hope. And we just still want to advocate for this young boy, because I can't imagine what his mom and family are still going through at this time. One other thing is this man right here in Pasco County has been missing. His name is Angel Montez. He's 54 years old and was reported missing on Christmas Eve. If anybody from Florida knows who this is, his family is looking for him. Please call that into your local law enforcement. This is for my Florida family. I don't believe this gentleman has made it out of the state of Florida. He was reported missing in Pasco County, and we just want to make sure that we go over his information as well. So I appreciate that. Other stories going on. Like I said, Christmas is always such a bad holiday, and this is no different. A Florida man leaves his wife brain bleed after Christmas sledgehammer attack. This is something I'm going to just briefly go over who's all involved, and then we'll move on. I just want to let people know that there is a story out there if you guys would like to read a little bit more. A Florida man was charged with the attempted murder of his wife following an unsuccessful murder unaliving attempt on Christmas Day, police said. Jonathan McPhee, 78, was hospitalized. 78, good gracious. Who at 78? That's just awful. Jonathan McPhee, 78, was hospitalized at the Orlando Health Bayfront Hospital on December 25th, later charged by Largo police with the attempted murder in the first degree. According to the criminal complaint obtained by Law and Crime, McPhee bludgeoned his wife in the head with a sledgehammer while she slept in their home on Christmas morning. McPhee then called 911 and allegedly told dispatch that I clubbed her and was going to try to stab myself in the heart. So I don't know what's going on in our world this day and age where, this is going on even in that elevated age group. I feel like there's just so much going on in this world that's so ugly. And we do have a few other things going on. Where's my time? I got about 10 more minutes to get through what I need to get through, and I don't think I am going to. So I'm just going to jump through and go to one of the updates that I think you guys would be most interested in, and it's related to the Bryan Kohberger case. Bryan Kohberger is also another case that we covered very intensely and extensively. We did our channel made 2 full trips out there to Moscow, Idaho, to learn what was going on in this case very, very early on. We got out there within a week of these homicides. We stayed there. Our first trip was a week, and then we went back like 2 or 3 weeks later and stayed there another week. So I know we are trying to get out there for the trial, so I like to keep my audience at least up to date on what's going on in the Bryan Kohberger case. So the state attorney prosecuting the case against the man charged with murder and the death of 4 University Idaho students have settled on their group of expert witnesses for the summer trial in Boise. Led by Latop County Prosecutor Bill Thompson, the prosecution met a court-imposed deadline to submit a list of experts and their credentials last week. But identities of those included among the groups the state intends to call as witnesses in the case against Bryan Kohberger is being kept from the public. So I don't know when we're going to learn of the experts, so we have an opportunity to do what we do, which is to typically look into them, find their expertise, find what they are really known for. Investigation connected to Bryan Kohberger. This is something that we didn't know at the time, and that was that Bryan Kohberger was actually looked at. Is this the one for potential? Oh, maybe it's the next one. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I got the wrong one. He was actually identified, even though he was cleared, but they believe that he could have been responsible for a home invasion. So this is what it said. Did University of Idaho suspect Bryan Kohberger stage a test run for the massacre of the 4 students he's accused of killing? It's now been revealed that shortly after Kohberger's arrest for murder, he was a named person of interest in connection with another home invasion. It all centers around a home invasion that was reported to cops in Pullman, Washington in 2021, a year before the killings of the 4 students. However, police say Kohberger is no longer a person of interest in the earlier break-in. The case was closed and remains unsolved. I don't know why they would clear him. They must have had him someplace else. That's the only thing I can think of. And lastly, related to Bryan Kohberger, potential defense for reasonable doubt. And I wanted to read this. Previously investigation connecting to Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 college students in Idaho, that involved a home invasion. Oh, that was the home invasion one too. I should have just read it. So there you go. That is really the updates that I have for everybody. I'm really sorry for going over those right now, but in all fairness, we needed to kind of go over them because we haven't really been going over all of the new, updating of cases or any other interesting or new cases that might interest you guys. So you guys can be looking into it. So I wanted to make sure that I did kind of a circle for you of information. So many of you guys are here. Perfect. I did it. Great timing too. 24 minutes. That's good. That's good. So many of you guys are here because of Sebastian Rogers in our coverage of the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. Many of you guys know that have been following for a really long time that Sebastian has missed his first round of holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving, his 16th birthday, and now Christmas. He was supposed to be going to live with his dad this summer permanently. And shortly before he was supposed to go live with his dad, he disappeared. So we were learning about this case in the early part of March for many of us. Maybe some locals were following this case earlier on. But for the rest of us out here in the ether, we didn't start really hearing about this case until the early parts of March, okay? We were watching it probably shortly before the green shirt interview, but once the green shirt interview was done and out there, it kind of lit a fire on social media because people felt some type of way about that interview and actually reached out to the news organization to beg them to release the entire interview, which I believe they did like a day or two later from this interview. And we were able to see a lot more than we intended to see. We got to see her kind of laughing and chuckling at the beginning that really just kind of rubbed us the wrong way. We started really digging into this case to find a little more about the mom, the stepfather, the dad, what kind of life Sebastian was living, what kind of history he had, what kind of history the parents had, because let's face it, if a parent has dealt with a lot of trauma as a child, no matter how you look at it, it is a key component in cases such as this. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, it is a key component, right? Why did we get here? We have to look at how we got here. So in our digging, many of us had our opinions up front, our theories up front. I don't know if you're like me, but my first two major theories were CP being responsible. And over time, in doing the work that we do on the Sebastian Rogers case, we kind of learned that may not be the case, that it truly could have been his mother. None of us, at least for many of us here, I shouldn't say none of us, but for many of us, the idea that this child walked out of the home in the middle of the night, being autistic, having his tics and all these other things, not liking dirt, having a different type of behaviors, for example, if he has a meltdown, he has a meltdown, it's uncontrollable. It's not really something where when we get upset, we have a little more control over our emotions and how we handle that, especially when things don't go our way or we don't like things. In autistic children, it's a little bit different. So when a child that's autistic always puts their shoes on, that behavior it's almost like breathing for us. It's something that they always do. They don't change that behavior. Their behaviors very rarely change. The behaviors that they learn as young kids and students and dealing with things, they usually keep those same exact behaviors into their adulthoods. They keep the same schedules, the same the same schedule, just the same behaviors. If they're accustomed to brushing their teeth at 7 p.m. at night, they're going to continue to brush their teeth at 7 p.m. at night, every night, even into adulthood. Okay. So those are the types of things that I'm trying to explain. And when we heard and listened to all of these litany of interviews that happened at the very beginning of this case, we learned of a lot of different inconsistencies, but moreover, we learned more about Sebastian and why he is more unlikely not to run away than, say, a normal child in maybe similar situations, right? If he were to run away, even according to his teachers, it seems like it's unlikely he would have left without his shoes or his personal belongings. And that's another caveat. Not only did he not put his shoes on, he did not take any personal belongings with him. So we've been all over the map as to what we believe happened to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, from him running away, from him leaving the home and being abducted as just a crime of opportunity. We've looked at the path of, somebody meeting him online and coaxing him out of the home. We looked at a bunch of different theories, including the trafficking theory. Now, I love Dog's team and Nick the Hat's team. I love them. I think that they are a breath of fresh air in this case. I'm glad that they're going through all the processes. You guys have to remember they started this case really in September, many months behind us. And so even though we processed a lot of these theories up front, there is this kind of renewed thing and renewed statement from At Night Intelligence Agency last night, or early this morning rather, that gave me a little pause, and I'm like, I don't know. And so I went back to kind of the drawing board this morning. It's Sunday, so I feel like I have a rejuvenated, hope because it is Sunday, and we went to church, and it kind of just fills you up with some good stuff, and your brain's kind of clear, and you want to dive into this a little bit. So I kind of went back to the beginning to see if this could be a possibility. Now, I have to be honest with you, At Night Intelligence Agency is doing their own independent investigation from law enforcement, from, whatever. They do this stuff the way that they do this stuff. So I don't have any knowledge of what leads or information they may have that leads them down this road. Everything that I've been able to acquire does not lead me down that road, that being the trafficking road, it being the lowest possibility on my theories. And I just wanted, so if you guys have those issues as well, it's okay. It doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong, because we don't necessarily think that that's the reality of situations, but we don't know what they have in their possession that leads them down that path. I mean, this is kind of a path from left turn. This might be just the way the company processes information. Remember, they started off with running away, then they started off with parental abduction. And, it seems like they're just trying to go down all of the list of things because, it is 10 months. And it seems like a lot of things have been cleared in their mind, as far as other possibilities that could have happened to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And I know that they followed up many of those leads that entertain that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers may have went missing from, a custody type of issue, right? Where they sent their son, the mom and stepfather sent their son to another home to stay, right? To avoid him going and staying with his father. That's what we're led to believe. Now, it's hard for me to believe that for a variety of reasons. One, because they've been doing this custody thing for a while. It was the stepfather that approached Seth and taking his son full time. It seemed like they were all working to get Sebastian to his dad, for his dad to take care of him. And that has been the goal for a couple of years. That's what it sounds like. So why would all of a sudden they're getting to the point that they've been working for 2 years? For 2 years, guys. I want to put that in people's brains. Why would they finally get to the point where they are for 2 years and then try to do a sneaky custody dealing thing? It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, I don't know where the leads have gone. I don't know what type of leads are being called into At Night Intelligence Agency or Dog's tip line. So it's hard for me, without any additional information that I've acquired, for me to make that leap that this child has been trafficked in any way, shape, or form, even for work, labor. I have not seen anything. I know people have brought it up. It's not that it's off the table for me at all. I just need to see more relevant information for that claim before I'm even, because I'm not even on the fence when it comes to that. I will be honest with you. And so that's why I kind of went through the dissertation, because I love what Nick and at night, I think everybody always equates to at night being Nick, you know, and Nick is kind of the lower man on the totem pole. At night is something different. Their intelligence agency, he may be in some of the know, but definitely not doing the investigative work or the legwork when it comes to this case. Kind of, you know, just puts out certain things that he's approved to put out. So I think I like their work. I like their determination and tenacity when it comes to this case. I like the fact that they literally are turning over every stone. They're not dismissing any lead. If they receive a lead, they are looking into it. And I think that's what the frustration is whenever you read the other post about somebody trying to come in and infiltrate their business and trying to get, you know, inject people or trying to inject themselves into this case, lying to them, you know. And then we've had this battery of major attacks, not just me, them, Nick. They're trying to get Nick thrown in jail. They're trying to get Tony to lose his job. You know, these things are real life things. These things are criminal acts, in my opinion. And I hope the people that are doing this are held accountable. At Night Media, or At Night Intelligence Agency, is actually providing a reward of up to $2,000 for anybody that has any information and proof of who is doing this. So if you guys have that and you're not so connected, $2,000 is $2,000. I would definitely, without a doubt, if you know something, say something. Because if you think it's appalling for it to happen to you and your family or someone in your family, then you should have that same moral compass when it comes to other people, whether you like the other people or not. So you can't have it both ways. You can't support the people that are doing it and condemn it when it's done to you or the people you support. It's either all or none when it comes to this. You are either real life or you're not real life. We cover cases over here, and we let those cases lead us where they lead. We don't pick on people, third parties covering the case in the opposite direction that we are. We don't try to get them to lose their channels or lose their job. Only dirty people do that, okay? Only evil people do that. So if you're supporting a channel that does that, when it happens to that channel, don't cry victim. That's all I've got to say. Don't cry victim. Because people need to be held accountable for their disgusting and ruthless behavior. If you wouldn't appreciate it happening to you, don't do it to somebody else. It's just that simple. It's called a cardinal effing rule. You know? So in the whole At Night Media world, I just wanted people to know that I agree with everything that they're doing, but I don't agree with this latest assessment of the case. And I don't know if that assessment's going to change with new information, or they're going to start revealing some information that supports the claim. But right now, you guys know my position when it comes to the Sebastian Drake Rogers case and what I truly believe happened. If you look at the facts of the case, what we learned is that over the weekend, Sebastian had several outings. On Saturday, he had an outing to Costco. We don't know much more than the Costco outing. We don't know what else they did that day. But that was the only picture that we saw of that weekend for many months. And you could clearly see a thumbprint on the Adam's apple of his neck. And that is very concerning for somebody like me. It's very concerning for several people in my audience that see it and say something's not right here because we have a missing child shortly after that, right? We've also learned that this child was not thriving well inside that home, started using the bathroom on himself, which implies stress and or abuse. We learned that there were 5 CPS reports open. We've learned that there's a potential and a good possibility that the stepfather's vehicle was seen in the air digitally the night potentially that Sebastian went missing. We're watching the entire hate channels losing their minds right now and being angry and trying to throw everybody under the bus, including Seth, because it sounds like things are getting hot on their side of the street. Why? Because you can't just disappear a kid and think nothing is going to happen. It just doesn't work that way. And that's just a message for whoever is responsible, right? You can't just disappear a kid and think everything's going to be hunky-dory. No, the reality of life is if you disappear a kid, the noose gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and the kitchen gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And you can always tell which side of the fence is the most concerned by how many distractions they try to deploy. And we've got so many distractions right now going on in this case that everybody's talking about everything else other than the fact that the stepfather's truck was most likely in the area when this child disappeared, potentially, according to reports. And acknowledgement out of the stepfather's own mouth. We apply common sense to the statement, of course, and we can see through it. And now we're back to, oh my gosh, Seth is scamming disability. Like, these people have never gotten anything right. They're idiots, okay? And I say that with all respect, but they're idiots. That was addressed months ago. If they would have just taken the earwax out of their ears and did some due diligence, they would have realized Tony addressed that months ago when it was brought up by another content creator months ago, saying almost the exact same thing. They have part of the records, but not all of the records. And they stretch those. And even if he does, you know what? Okay, let's just say this. Let's play devil's advocate. Okay? What if it's impossible, and I know the whole situation around it and have the full documentation of it, as a matter of fact. But let's play devil's advocate. Okay, he's scamming disability. So what? Right? We're here for a missing child. A child that disappeared when he was 15 years old and is now 16 years old and still hasn't been brought back and has been missing for 10 months. I could give a crap whether Seth robbed a freaking bank. Let's be honest. We're not here for disability. We're here because a child disappeared from the mom and stepfather's home and has not been seen or heard from since. I could care less whether Seth has a criminal background. I could care less whether he is the worst person in the world. I could care less if that surfaced tomorrow. It would never. It would only be a narrative and lies, like many of these are. But at the end of the day, let's think about it. Who cares? And what does that have to do with finding a 15-year-old boy? And didn't their leader just sit up on their panel and say, stay away from the drama? Help us find our son. So that's what they're saying in front of the scenes, but behind the scenes, they're asking them to do damage. Because if they weren't instructed to do damage, then they would follow the man's instruction to talk about Sebastian and stay away from the drama. But the next live that they do is filled with drama and condemnation for a father that is absolutely innocent of any crime related to his son. That's a distraction, folks. Another distraction. So why so many distractions hitting all at once? And then when they don't get their way, we start talking about how their PI is violating his license in Tennessee and provide real statutes in black and white for everybody to see. And the next thing you know, you got letters and emails going off to people's paroles and jobs to get them fired. Distractions. Distractions. All of these are distractions. Why? And why are all these distractions being funneled by one side? And why does that one side only talk to the public when shit hits the fan. For example, on 3-3 and 3-4, when the case scaled back efforts and took a turn to an investigative case. Or about the lights video of March 14th, when all of a sudden these same roaches crawl out from under their rock just to try to do damage control and go out there on a "we didn't do it" campaign, right? Then they go back under their rock, and then all of a sudden we're hearing the truck might have been in the area, 5 CPS reports, and now satellite imagery, and all of a sudden, boom, we got another debut from Stepdaddy Dearest. And then boom, all of a sudden they're out with spirit boxes and finally searching the woods. Well, congratulations on a Sunday. Congratulations. Question is why? The question is why? Do I believe this child was trafficked? No. Why? Because of everything I just explained. That does not look to me like a trafficked child. That looks to me like a child that has been abused to a grave situation. Now, I'm not going to get off that stance until somebody brings me legitimate information to get me off that stance. Because when you go to all of the behavior panelists, all Peter Hyatt, right? What's the other one? Brown. McDonough. When you go to all of these people that have Coffindaffer, that have these experiences and expertise in certain fields, deceptive detective, you go to them to pick their brain and see what they're willing to give you. And every one of them believes something happened to this child at 10 p.m. because of the beginning of that 2 to 3 hour telephone call. Yes, Mama, thank you for reminding us. The professionals. Not these dumbasses that have that barely graduated high school, are felons, can't get their stuff together, can't take care of their own damn kids. Telling us what they think is going on. No, you don't have the experience, nor the education, nor the knowledge, nor the common sense, moral turpitude, or anything else to give us your opinion. You can have your opinion. You can speak it on your channel, but don't act like you doing something. Because so far, you haven't gotten anything right in 4 years. 4. That's pretty bad batting average on these hate channels. Thank you, Tracy. Really, really bad batting average on these channels. They didn't get Summer Wells right. They definitely. Now, the one example we have without a doubt is Baby Q, Leilani Simon. We were spot on in every bit of reporting. And you watch those hate channels send clowns and crackheads out to that location. That was disgusting and it was appalling. And it was courtesy of your hate channels that don't go real life, by the way. Just remember that. All right, guys, I am done with my commentary. I know we have 18 out of the 20 goals. We're going to be opening up the phone lines. But as I promised, part of Lady 7-Up. Oh, Cheeky Chops. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. So I'm going to say we met our goal. Oh, thank you, guys. I'm going to say we met our goal. And we're going to do one of my favorite little funny clips. I did this back when we were, actually, I can tell you exactly when this was. This was the 1 year anniversary of, milestone rather, of Summer Wells, when I did this, what we dub the ass video. It is a little comedy skit that I did a while ago. But before I play it, it is related to Summer Wells. So for those that don't know about Summer Wells, I do believe that we need to get a little updated on Summer Wells. Let me find a Summer Wells video that I like. I think it's this one right here.
Five-year-old child's missing and he likes to play games.
He had 7 alibis and she had none. She's going down. My thing is one person only needs 1 alibi, the truth. Him explaining himself like, I got 7 alibis. Who needs 7 alibis?
We're going to call Don Wells right now because he says that he can't join us in searching for Summers.
That shows right there that could possibly be deception. I think Candace has a hand in whatever happened in this home, and I think Don covered it up if in fact he was at work at the time she disappeared.
Making excuses. We're in town. We are the only people that's actively searching for Summer. And he does not want to meet us. He knows we're here. He's finding excuses not to meet us. So,
Don, it's Molly Golightly. I know that you guys know that we're in town, and we just want to find your daughter.
After the witness came forward about the violence that goes on in this home, it's just hard. It's hard to believe that she left this. I don't think anything happened to her at the water hole. I think she died right here on this mountain.
Andrea, aka Bullhorn Betty here. Look what I found. It looks like a lot of people on YouTube. Right here. Right here. This is a real ass right here. Like many people on YouTube. All you need to do is show an asshole a little love. Right? Right? Tell him. What you need to do? What you need to do? Huh? What you need to do? Oh, too many assholes on YouTube. Say it. Say it with me, baby. Say there's just too many people. Too many people on YouTube that look like you, huh? So the next time you want to be an ass, maybe you should come out here and hang out with the ass. Just saying. You want to be a jackass? There's your brother. Peace out. Bullhorn Betty style.
What can I say? I was a little pistol back in them days. Now I'm a shotgun, okay? I'm sorry. I grew up a little bit, okay? I grew up a little bit. All right, guys, without further ado, I'm going to open up the phone lines for you guys. If you guys would like to call in, let me get it all set up. I didn't have it set up. Or maybe it's set up on the other. Yeah, it's probably set up on the other tab that I've got, but we'll just do it this way. Let's keep it all on the same tab. All on the same tab. We'll share this one. We'll get rid of the other ones. Okay. There we go. I think we're in it to win it. Let me put the telephone up here. So what we are discussing today is anything. What do you think about the new revelations coming out? It's going to take me a little bit to get off the fence for a trafficking scenario. It just is. It is what it is. Oh, that's right. I didn't say hi to anybody because there were so many people coming in. After this, we'll get to the people who sponsor the show. This is Betty. Yep. Yeah, this is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hi, Betty. This is Shirley H. in Denver. Last night I was asleep when that post came through from at night.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't understand the reasoning of going to Nick's parole office, making fake IDs, trying to get into. This case has turned into a circus, and it all starts with numbnuts. Yes, I started the numbnuts thing, and his goons. And it needs to stop. We need to bring this child home.
Yes. This is what you
And this is ridiculous.
Criminals. These people, I mean, I've been arrested. I'm not a criminal, okay? These people are criminals. Okay, these people do dirty stuff every day. They don't have any value of the law. They don't care about boundaries. They don't care. They are a cancel culture. If you don't like the way they do it, they want to take you down. They want to ruin your life. They want to they want to know that they have control over making you go without food. It is a control, power, and greed thing. These are abusive people. If it was a man doing this to a woman, we would have nothing to do with these channels.
You're right. And I have been watching Nick since the escapee up in Pennsylvania. When they were looking for him. And I'll tell you, I have never in my life seen Nick do anything wrong. Watching him, he was on target. He was right there when they got that guy. And it's like, leave this man alone. He is trying to find this child for this father. And you people out here in Cookland is out here trying to manipulate and throw this man in prison for you, for them to get, I can't think of the word, to think they're really doing something. What is the word I'm looking for here?
I don't know. They feel like they have reason for this. They're villains.
Like they're in charge. Like they're doing, and that, I don't even want to call him a PI.
No.
He should have his license revoked. He should never be able to retain them again. Because he has went out here and he has.
Well, he's only got so much more. He's only got so much more time he can do this. I mean, at the end of the day, there's been 4 years of behavior analysis on him that have been collected just from his Twitter account alone. I mean, his behaviors are atrocious. Those are going to catch up with him, and people are going to start collecting information and sending it off because it's unprofessional. It's unethical. You can't harass people like that. You can't talk to people like that.
And for him to be a professional, quote unquote, he sure acts like that ass you showed on there just a few minutes ago, because I'm like, wow, there's numbnuts and his cronies. They all need to go and look at that ass and see what they look like.
I used to play that every single day on my show. I just want to let you know.
And my heart hurts for Seth. There is not many fathers in this world that would do what Seth is doing.
Yeah, I agree.
And for this man to be put through hell from these haters is unreal.
Yeah. I just think it's
really unreal
because they're attacking 2 of the nicest people that I know. First of all, Nick is young. He's very determined. He's passionate. He really cares. You got Tony, again, not as young as Nick, but he's passionate. He cares. These are people that are 2 of the nicest people that I know, and they don't deserve this stress or this abuse. And I'm going to start calling it, because this is abuse. They're abusing a man. They're abusing men. And we need to, they're trying to make them lose their livelihood. We're not talking about, stealing a marker or, stabbing a tire of their car. We're talking about them losing their livelihood. These people.
Their jobs, their freedom, their homes, their families, all behind. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, Betty. Clue McNasty. Mm-hmm. And her goonies. Them 4 women that were on that panel with Truth are all in cahoots with this. They're all being paid by Numbnuts and his family. And it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, it is really disgusting.
Like this. The mom and stepdad, at this point, have really nothing left to lose. Now, do they?
It is really disgusting. And it's sad that this man that is out here searching and begging for help to find his only child, that these goons can go out here and just bash him any way they can. And it's sad.
Yeah.
I wish my child's dad was still alive to help me. But a lot of people don't understand how hard it is for a parent, a single parent, when they lose a child.
Wow.
And they need to go out there and they need to start arresting, putting these people into jail. Lock them up under the jail. Put them in there, I bet, 3 or 4 days in lockup in solitude confinement. I bet they'll start talking.
Well, they still have all the abuse stuff that they could go after them for. I mean, I have to think that there is some evidence of that, in reports and statements made by Sebastian. I mean, to be honest with you, you only need a scintilla of, you just need probable cause. That's really all you need for an arrest is probable cause. There is probable cause of abuse going on in that home. They have enough for an arrest. I mean, I don't know if the charges will stick or if it will go, through the court system. But as far as probable cause and the ability to arrest them, they have it now.
5 CPS reports, and this child was not removed from that home and given to his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And who sits there and lies and says, oh, his dad has nothing to do with it. He's not around no more. When CPS can go back and look at school records, hospital records, doctor's visits, everything, and see that his father was involved.
Yeah, but how did they not know that he wasn't involved, especially if they were consulting with teachers at his school? The teachers knew he was a very involved father. I don't know how the misconception happened. I think it was a intentional misconception.
And I would tell you, none of that needs to step back because he has no right to Sebastian. He is a step parent. The only right he has is paying that young man's bills and making sure he has a safe place. Yeah. He has no right to say where Sebastian goes, what Sebastian does, who he's with, if he's with mom or with dad, and he needs to shut his trap and let KP do the talking because she was was the last one with him.
I agree. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I got to get to thanking the people before they leave, and then I got to open the phones up to everybody else.
That's fine. Thank you, Betty. Have a good day.
Take care. God bless. All right. Before we open the phones up again, I just wanted to thank people this morning. Thank you for the overwhelming amount of support. Ginger, God bless you for that. Melanie, what is this one? Alfonso, thank you. Happy Sunday to you as well. We have Elizabeth. Oh, thank you. Pamela, Wheezy Girl, thank you guys so much. Panda, Bear's Mom, Shining Star, Truth and Time. Oh, thank you, Shining Star. I appreciate that. Oh, wow. Oh, you helped out a lot. Thank you. Elizabeth, thank you guys so much. So very much. Virginia Girl, truck. Yes, I know. That was huge. I still think that is huge. Mama Socks. Lady 7 Up says, I love you, Betty. Keep up your good work. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you again, Lady 7 Up. We have Alicia up in the house saying, like the video. Yes, I'm bossy. I have raised 4 kids. Love it. Oh, thank you. Somebody donated my cuss jar money. Oh, thank you, Eeyore Blues. YouTuber says, preach, Betty. Preach. Elizabeth, Lady 7 Up. Oh, you guys are beautiful. Just beautiful. Where am I? Hold on. I lost my spot. There we are. Elizabeth and Nick the Hat reminding us, united we are. Sebastian Strong. Thank you so much, Nick, for that. And Grace Upon Grace gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. So thank you all so very much for the love and support of this channel. I'm opening the phones up now so we can call in. And that number, 2724-252-070. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is April from Illinois.
Hi, April. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just was calling because yesterday I was going through YouTube and I saw a creator, and they actually was doing a prank call with on Dog's Line.
Well,
They did it
send
live.
that information over to Sebastian at manhunts.one.
I did, and I also had called and I left a message.
Good, good.
I didn't know if I to send links, or I didn't know what to do because I've never
I
called
believe
before.
you can. I will find out for sure. If Nick's still in the chat, he might have some.
Well, I also had screen recorded. I didn't know if I was supposed to, but I screen recorded it too.
Okay, yeah, they would be the ones
so,
to give this to, because I want somebody held accountable. Like, this is a.
But I mean, the things they were saying is like, they're trying to find a missing kid, and it's not for prank calls, and it's a grown person. I mean, why are you doing some not even teenage, like kiddie stuff?
It's childish.
Yeah.
It's because
exactly.
parents have no moral compass. They probably don't even take care of their own children, and they don't care about these kids. They never have. They care about money. It's like a child's throat for a freaking buck. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel.
It was crazy. I'm like, why? It don't make sense to me.
Yeah. I agree. Well, thank you so much for calling that in. I know Nick was listening. He might know. He'll probably be checking the emails, or having somebody in his organization checking those emails. So I appreciate that. If everybody could stay vigilant, and please send that stuff over to Dog's team if you guys see it or witness it. Screen record it like you did. Screen capture, anything you guys can do. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want nothing for it. I just, I want the help. I want them to find this missing kid. It's like,
these are all
finding the missing
distractions.
kid needs more than getting some money. I mean,
they're just trying to change the narrative on the platform. The bottom line is people aren't going to change their minds. There's too much information out there now. Nobody is going to look at the mom and stepdad any different than they look at them today.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've seen like cases before, but nothing as crazy as this.
I agree. Well, I shouldn't say that. Summer Wells was a pretty wild case. I mean, with BK in there, and
I didn't see that one too much. I just seen like upcoming, the things since this past year is when I've mostly got into watching true crime and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, even things back with like Elizabeth Smart, it's like she went missing, but it's like, it's crazy, like how things are going right now. And with the YouTubers and, the misinformation, and it's crazy.
I agree. But there's a reason why there's such a misinformation campaign going on out there. There's a reason.
Yeah.
I believe there's a reason for anything. These people were hidden under their rock for a really long time, and then boom, we hear it's a criminal investigation. Now we're hearing from their own side that there's possibility of the stepfather's truck being in the area. I mean, there's a lot going on. I have to think that it's getting pretty hot in their kitchen at this moment. I think the noose is tightening up on them, and they're starting to buck. That's what I think.
Yeah. Something has to be happening, for all the information to be coming out in little bits.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I know Ellie probably don't want to give all the information out because it would ruin what they got going.
Yeah, well, they're not giving any information out. This is stuff from their side that is dribbling out because they can't contain it anymore. They've opened their mouth too much to their own team. The problem is when you deal with the type of people that mom and stepdad are dealing with, there is no loyalty there. There's no confidentiality. Yeah. They only care about their numbers and their money that they can sell this stuff to,
So I was reading, I don't know where I was hearing it from, but it was like, they were saying like there's like politicians involved and stuff. Is that stuff kind of true and stuff? I don't know.
In a case like this, there's always politicians involved. I mean, you got to in cases like this, politicians are all involved. There's a lot of, like, even in my own county, in my own state, when you have a high profile case, politicians are absolutely involved because they've got to figure out what they're going to do because they have to show strength.
No, I mean, like, because I don't know where I was hearing it from. But
oh, you mean politicians involved in his disappearance?
Yeah, I mean, like, because, like, somebody was saying, like, houses were being built and stuff like that. And, like, and it's like they were reading it from an ex.
Well,
you know, so it's like
it's one thing reading a post; it's another thing doing the due diligence necessary to find out if it's true. That's what I don't like about a lot of these people that talk about stuff. It's like, you know, why are you bringing it up when you haven't looked into the facts of it? At least to have some type of, you know, knowledge of what's going on versus just reading. So I don't know where it came from, so I can't answer that.
It came from like the I'm guessing it was the ex account with the Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Okay.
Or something like that.
All right. Well, if you can send that to me, I might have missed it. I don't know.
I don't have X, but it was on another creator. I can send you her link.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, because I just need to look at it. I don't know where the information comes from until I see it and be able to source it. I don't get on board with just anything, everything, you know.
Yeah.
I've got to look into it, and if it doesn't hold water, it doesn't hold water. I'll say that it's still rumor. I mean, like the whole 4-day weekend, we've never corroborated whether Chris had a 4-day weekend or not. I don't really talk about it much, but every now and again, I let people know that there is a rumor that he may have had a 4-day weekend. Now, we just saw those satellite imagery posts, and I'm sorry, but on February 23rd, from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., there appears to be a black truck sitting in the driveway of Mommy and Stepdaddy Socks, and it makes me wonder. It looks like a freaking full-size black truck.
Yeah,
and I don't know if that's what that's supposed to mean. Does that help corroborate that there was a 4-day weekend that weekend? I don't know.
I don't know. It's like everything is like confusing with all the information coming out, and it's like, you know, it's hard.
Yeah, you have to wait. You got to look into it and see what it means, and then you got to go.
It's like putting a puzzle together and without a picture to know what it looks like.
Yep. We still don't have the full picture.
Yeah.
But what's being developed is not looking good for the mom or the stepfather. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Did you ever get my email that I had sent about the news zip?
Yes. Yes, okay. I did. I thought I starred that or hearted that or something like that yesterday because I was reading that. And that was crazy. Okay. That was way off base.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did get it because I read it.
Okay. I was just making sure because, I mean, like, that was like, there was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know where they got the information from. Like, it was all, I mean, the dates, everything, it was all off.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Well, I'll let somebody else call in. Thank you for taking my call.
All right, God bless. Have a great day. Happy Sunday.
You too. Yeah. Happy Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. The phones are getting turned back on. Sorry, I turn the phones on and off because I find that when people call in while somebody's talking, it's really distracting. I'm deaf in one ear. It causes me hard times of hearing. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Betty, it's Nick. How are you?
Oh, hey, Nick. How are you?
Good. I'm just calling to thank you and everybody that's watching for staying courageous and Sebastian strong. I think we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I will have to pick your mind a little bit. You might not be able to answer me, but since I got you on the phone, I'm going to ask. It's what I do. It's what I do. So, can you share with the public why, or if you know, why it's leading down this labor trafficking type of avenue?
I don't mix myself in with it, but there is a way for people to find stuff out, especially like creators and you guys. If you guys email media@night.agency and ask that question.
Okay.
They'll respond and they'll give you the answer.
Okay, good. Because I didn't want to put you on the spot, but since you called in, I thought I would.
No, you're good.
So, I've got you here. First of all, I want to tell you I'm really sorry about everything that you have gone through since this case. I mean, I can't imagine being in your position and having to deal with, a parole person and then being inundated with calls for no reason. How are you doing with all of this personally?
Well, one thing is that the Pennsylvania Department of Parole, they're very professional individuals. They are thorough. They investigate. They do their job phenomenally. I have nothing bad at all nothing to say about parole. It's individuals that are sending false reports that are the problem, and it's becoming more so of a headache for officials because those individuals were informed back in September that the only way to get a parole violation is criminal charges. So what they're doing now is they are trying to trump up criminal charges by filing reports in various states to get a police report to then have a parole violation. But overall, the Pennsylvania Department of Board of Parole is they're pretty good.
They're going out of their way to try to create and cultivate alleged crimes you haven't committed in an effort to have you jailed.
Then it crosses the line when they put photos up of an agent that works there. It's just that's a line you don't cross. You can tell people to report somebody if I don't know what the circumstances would be to instruct people to report someone, but when you make posters, when you make a Reddit, when you start a campaign, when you go around telling people that never heard about me to call somebody and give a first-hand experience with me, that's where it becomes a problem. And once they have 200 phone calls that repeat the same thing, we're dealing with almost like a Me Too situation with Bill Cosby, where he had 60 people, but only one person came to court. I'm dealing with the same thing here, where it's 100 people, and none of them are going to show up because none of them live in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. There's nobody here in Pennsylvania, and the people that are, I would never and have not crossed any lines. So I don't know what their end goal is, but it's not just me they're attacking. They're attacking Tony. They're going through his work, trying to get him fired, and it's just bizarre. They want to take out pillars that are around Mr. Rogers and around Sebastian's search. They want to demolish anybody that's assisting, whether it's getting rid of them financially or taking away their freedom or getting them harmed and hurt. They don't care. Right. They're showing up to our houses. They're going to Hong's house. He showed up. In total, they've come, I think it's maybe a max of 6 houses, but there are at least 4 to 5 out here in Pennsylvania that they hit. Wow. Why are they coming to our houses if it's not something that we should be looking into? It's very weird. So they're showing up in person. They're making phone calls. It's interesting, and maybe that's where the trafficking stuff might be coming from.
Yeah.
When you have people paying this much money to have people jailed, hurt, silenced, it's expensive. And we're going on 1 year, and this campaign that they launched, it's an expensive one to keep it going.
What can people do to help you? What kind of information, photos, screenshots, screen recordings are you guys looking for to help you?
I'm not even 100% sure. So I know that Dog Team's actually leading that effort as well. They made it a little bit of a priority to try and get it, I want to say, wrapped up by Friday.
Okay.
Anything and everything that anybody has, whether it's small, big, or it doesn't matter the size. Even if it's just one sentence, they can email it over to litigation@night.agency, or if they send it to Sebastian.
At night.agency, got it. Okay.
Yeah, and if they send it to the wrong one, it'll get routed to the right division. But
okay, perfect.
Just stay united, stay strong, stay courageous. I mean, that's really the only thing that everybody can do. If we falter, if worst case scenario happens and I'm violated, the people just have to stay united and keep it going about Sebastian, not about anything else.
I'm coming to PA with my bullhorn. Period. I'm coming there with picket signs and a bullhorn. I'm telling you, I will absolutely 100%. You will hear Bullhorn Betty wherever you're sitting.
Oh man, I'll look forward to that. At the end of the day, it's it's going to stay with unity. If we keep the unity there, if we keep the people together, and we don't all have to agree, we don't all have to, we're not trying to have North Korea here where it's one narrative or you're out.
Right.
It's nothing like that at all. It's just be civil, be human, and have a little sense of humanity and put yourself in the other people's shoes. There's just no reason to do what they're doing. We would never stoop so low, and we have a lot to work with those people where we can stoop that low, but we would never, because it's just immoral, right? You don't call people.
Do you know that in
their
their brain, they honestly believe that we're sitting here behind the scenes just driving narratives. They honestly believe that we're doing what they're doing. Like they have not understood. We keep it about Sebastian and how to bring him home. We are not driving a narrative behind the scenes. We're trying to strum up tips and leads and passing those around and getting those investigated and all these other things. It's just, anyways, I know you're busy. One last thing I wanted to let people know, because I don't think everybody does know. I just personally ordered a coffee cup. You now have a little site that has some stuff. I mean, honestly, I've been a Nick the Hat fan for several years now, and I'm going to be drinking a cup. So I thought I'd throw that out there. So tell them what you have on your site.
What was that? I didn't get that.
Huh?
I didn't hear that last part.
What all do you have on your site?
So it's more so branded around the perimeter. That saying that we had back for Cavalcante when the state police would always have a new perimeter established.
Mm-hmm.
They have overpriced hoodies, so I wouldn't buy one of them. The coffee cups are probably the best item on there, because that's what I order as well, and the tumbler. But just normal gear, I guess. It's more so like a bounty hunting kind of stuff. It's a brand that mixes mine with dogs for our future.
Well, that's nice, but it's still support. It's still something that people that love you can go and help support you.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate everything you do, and I'm watching, and I'm loving it. Stay you, and everybody that's watching, Betty, I love you guys as well, because you guys are relentless, and you guys are true warriors as well. We have to stick together, and we have to stick it out to the end, and we'll find Sebastian if the unity stays. It's impossible not to close this case if the unity stays where it is consistently, no matter what happens.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for all you do.
Thank you so much, Betty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I figured since I had him on the phone, it's not like we get a call every day from Nick the Hat. I figured might as well, look under the hood a little bit. It's what I do. It's what I do. I creepy and crawly. Sorry if I ruffled any feathers. I know there's only so much you can say, and I know legally, so I figured I'd ask. If you couldn't say, I figured you knew how to handle it, which you did it very professionally. So thank you, Nick, for giving us an opportunity to hear from you. That was really sweet. I appreciate that. And just to let you guys know, the reason why I brought up the coffee cup, because when Nick had this site, it didn't have a coffee cup on it, and I reached out to him, and I'm like, you know what? You'll get a sale from Bullhorn Betty with a coffee cup. I'm just joking. It's a little satire, but I'm like, where's the coffee cup? Like, yeah, I can't, there's nothing on here. Like, everybody knows this is the coffee club. Yeah, if you're going to sell something, at least put a coffee cup. Coffee cup. We all drink coffee, tea, water, something. So I can't wait to get my cup. But you guys know when I get my cup, I will be bragging about it. I'll be bragging all over here. Look at that. I got Nick the Hat. I'm the only one with a Nick the Hat coffee cup. It's all mine, and you can't have none. You can't have none. All right, let me turn the phones back on. All right, I had my fun. Enough with the satire. So we've had some new revelations come out, possibly a labor trafficking type of situation here. I'm not quite on board with it. I'm definitely open to new information. This is Betty. Who's this, and where are you calling from? Hello? Hello? Goodbye. All right. You know what, guys? We've been on here for like an hour and a half. I'm going to play some music for a little second. Well, maybe. Maybe not. This is Betty. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
This is Lisa.
Hey, Lisa, how are you doing?
I'm good, Betty. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. What would you like to contribute to this case?
I just have a question about the fact that KP had mentioned that Sebastian took out the trash that night because that's his chore.
Yeah.
Now, that stuck with me because I truly feel, in my opinion, that what they've created there for someone that doesn't really say much about her child, she really said a lot about him that evening. And that's bothered me from the beginning, that she had so much to say about a night that was so short, and there were so many other things that she didn't mention, like brushing the teeth and doing the whole school thing before bed, heavy homework. But if you know what they were wearing when they left the restaurant, and I know that there's a video of someone taking out the trash, I thought, couldn't they line that up with, who took out the trash that night? Because she specifically made that statement about that being his chore, and that's what he did that night.
And I
she was the one
wonder,
that was wearing hoodie, long sleeves.
yeah, and I've wondered because they've known about the cameras in their community for a while. They came from out the gate. They had common knowledge of which cameras pointed to their house, and they knew the clarity. If you guys remember, the clarity of those cameras as well, because Chris was on, I believe, Smiley's World. Smiley's in the chat. She might be able to confirm this. And he said something to the effect of, when she was asking, are you sure somebody didn't come through the front door, come into the house? And he slipped up and said, well, believe it or not, the camera across the street, it would have picked up a movement or haze or something, some kind of motion, but it wouldn't be very clear, but you could see something. And if they had that knowledge, would they know that whoever took the garbage out, they would not be able to see very clear?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm sort of thinking, like you said, if by that time, whatever the time was that he went to bed, right, and you know what the timeline was, well, at least if you're going by what she says, the timeline that he went to bed, what was the time frame that the garbage was taken out, and would he have been in pajamas by that time? Would he have gotten his outfit on by that time? What time was the trash taken out? And then, just for the most part, I just really believe that everything that was said about that evening was made up. And the reason why I say that is because if she doesn't check on him and she hears the sound, right, that's her basically just giving, full on knowledge that, yes, he was still in the house at the time.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, since you asked those questions. Do you believe he made it home that night, or are you one that believes he didn't make it home?
I believe that he didn't make it home, but I do believe that they had to accommodate, that they had to allow for getting the clothes back home, at least in some way.
Gotcha.
So his clothes he was wearing that evening, they would have had to have gotten them back to the house. So, dumb people, whatever. In my opinion is that, they would have had to have made a trip back to the house to get certain things back to the house.
Maybe that's the 3 a.m. car.
Yeah. And in their haste, they probably brought the shoes back as well, thinking, oh, those have to be here. But then too, I know that they were wearing almost the exact same pair of shoes. He had lighter pants on that evening than she did. He was wearing black but short sleeves, and she was wearing long sleeves with a hoodie. With a hood.
Yeah.
So, compared to the video across the street, if you could see what the person was wearing that took the garbage out.
And I'm convinced, I'm absolutely convinced, because I've seen this done in courts before, where they don't even have to really have a visual of the person, only the shadow of the height of the person, and they can determine, because there is a difference in height from Katie to Sebastian, and typically they can use a fixed like maybe a post or the gate or something as a fixed item.
If the video answered on that, I think that would make all the difference in the world. And I believe that because and that would certainly prove that she was creating a timeline for the evening when there really wasn't one, because he was never there to begin with. If that video was enhanced, there would be a way to see who it was that took the garbage out, because there was a statement out of her mouth that he took the garbage out because that was his chore. Well, she had to come up with something to create a timeline. very vague on so many other things, but just so matter of fact on other things that just bothered me that, and then I knew something was up with the house, that's directly across from them, or behind their house. Because, directly after this happened, that person went and hid their whole entire house on Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Also, what do you think about all these people being harassed? We just had Nick the Hat on. He's going through. He elaborated a little bit about what's happening to him. We just learned about Whitney in their neighborhood being.
I always say that people. What's his face always says, we only know what we know, or we don't know what we don't know. Well, there's a difference between not knowing what you know and knowing something that you won't admit to.
Yeah.
And I know this personally because I've dealt with it in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People that are used to having, certain aspects of their life because they carve out a life for themselves. They're not interested in what anybody else has to put up with. So they make those relationships and they make those connections just for that purpose because that's the kind of person they are.
Mm-hmm.
They go through life, in a sense, living in fear. So those things are necessary, right, and correct actions for them. And like you always say, if you don't believe it's not going to happen to you, then you're sadly mistaken because it can happen to anybody.
Anyone. Yep.
It can't happen to anybody. It will happen to you. And I think that's the biggest problem with society today. They just don't understand it. But I do understand that they're afraid to bring themselves down even on an emotional level to relate to somebody because it's way too scary a place to be.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Even on that level, it's scary.
Yeah.
But I believe, like you said about the people that are out there creating all these problems, I just don't think that they've gotten to the end of what their reach is. But if it's something that they only know,
yeah,
they just don't know anything else, and they just think that their reach is going to go on forever.
Yeah, no, their hands are about to get cut off soon enough. I mean, it only goes on for so long. And I told
exactly.
People, I told,
and that's what it takes, and that's what it requires. It requires, the constant, speaking of your truth.
Mm-hmm.
To know that you are absolutely correct and right. It might be something that's hard and difficult to reason with,
right,
that this is happening, but it is the absolute, because I've seen it myself, even within this case, being online and trying to just give an opinion from someone that lives hundreds of miles away. And if it speaks to something that bothers them,
mm-hmm.
then they come at you like nobody's business. They really do. So,
I
get it.
No place for that when we're trying to look for a 15, 16-year-old boy that's medically needy.
Absolutely, yeah. They're just trying to get you to go away.
Mm-hmm.
What else do they have? That's all they can do is
try to... All it does is make me work 10 times harder and make me about 100 times louder. That's all Milking this bear does.
Well, I appreciate everything that you're doing, Betty. We love you.
Thank you. Love you too. Take care. Happy Sunday. Bye-bye.
You as well. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to have to end the show. Why? Because Bullhorn Betty, her back teeth are floating, and I've got to take Delilah out. If you guys want to see beautiful Delilah, our beautiful mascot, our channel mascot. Is that her head? Is that her head poking up? Say hi, everybody. You can't see me. Hold on. My mommy's going to put me on the channel. Oh, looky. There she is. Oh, good gracious, my little shy girl. You got to get over here in my camera lens. There you go. There she is, doing her Gene Simmons, her little Gene Simmons. Actually, her big Gene Simmons. I've never seen a dog with such a long tongue. That's why I call her tongue Gene Simmons. If you guys don't know who this is Delilah Bullhorn, and she is the crime-fighting dog of the true crime community. Say, hey guys, I love my mommy. She's such a good mommy to me. I'm spoiled rotten, but you guys already know I'm spoiled rotten because you see how much she spoils me, and I'm such a good little girl for my mommy. So don't forget to give my mommy a thumbs up. If you get her to 1,000 thumbs up, I get a chicken twist, and I want my chicken twist. Otherwise, the next time I come here, I'm gonna point my middle finger up at you guys. She's so adorable. Aw, she's my sweetie. She my sweets. But there's Delilah. She's always next to me. If you guys don't know, she's my baby. She's my new baby. So I just thought I'd give you guys a little bit of cuteness before you finish your day. We will be back later today. We're going to open the phone lines tonight as well, because I have a funny feeling there's going to be some new information coming out or some different perspectives from other content creators on this platform that I'd like to review and maybe have a discussion. If there are content creators on here like Smiley's World, Justin for All, Brittany J, I know that they've got some things going on later tonight, but I'll try to run mine earlier. But if they would like to come up, they're more than welcome. So we can have a panel, a panel of content creators that want to discuss the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. If we can't do that today, maybe doing that sometime this week, just to put our perspectives out there on the table and just have like a roundtable discussion, because our audience only has a few content creators that are actually reporting the facts of this case, not running a narrative, not engaging in a misinformation, disinformation campaign. We're truly trying to find the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and or pressure the people that have that information to come forward and tell law enforcement what they know. So anyways, I'm just throwing that out there. I hope you guys have an amazing Sunday. We'll be back later this afternoon. And I will it'll definitely be after 4, because it's already 2:00 now. I got to get started on supper. I'm cooking supper for me and my neighbor because I'm going on a diet, and I got to get rid of the food out of the house that is not really diet food, like the ribs I'm cooking today. And so I just got to get the junk food eaten out of the house. And once we finish eating all the junk food out of the house, I'm going to fill the house up with healthy food. That's how we do it around here. Okay? Just letting you know. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. God bless you. Don't forget, today is the last Sunday before New Year's. So now's the time to start making. Some people do New Year's resolutions. I'm not a resolutions person. I'm a goals-oriented person, so I'm going to be doing measurable goals, and I hope that you guys come with me, do your measurable goals for the 2025 season. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, let's be kind to one another. All right, guys, have a great day. Love you and God bless. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.